Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good affy. You know what? If you want to skip ahead to the Pillars of Eternity part, please do. I'm going to bring myself up big style. Woo! Maybe not that big. How do I do this? Oh, fuck it. Oh no, that'll do. Let's have a talking head moment. Let's talk about gaming news and how disgraceful it is. How disgraceful the industry has been behaving lately. About a week ago, Jim Ryan, president and CEO of Sony Entertainment, of PlayStation, went to the London office. And he had a photograph of the people there, talked to people, shook hands, all the rest of it. As you know, it's typical corporate bullshit. They're being laid off today. That studio is being shuttered. And that is part of the 900 layoffs that are taking place with Sony and PlayStation division. Part of these layoffs include Insomniac, who have had to let go of 50 to 70 underperformers. Even though Insomniac, underperforming in Insomniac is just unrealistic expectations to anyone else, because they are a legendary studio. They always have been, and they always will be. I think the day that Insomniac stops consistently producing bangers is the day that Insomniac is just Insomniac in name. So they've lost employees. Electronic Arts have also been doing layoffs. They've cancelled the Mandalorian game. Other Star Wars games are being confirmed as being continued. And finally, the straw that broke the camel's back for me, because I'm just broken now. I mean, obviously, I'm not affected anywhere near at the level that the people who've been laid off are. Certainly not Jim Ryan. I'll get around to him in a minute. But Embracer Group, the usual suspects, the new EA. You know what they're doing? They're selling Saber Interactive for $500 million. If you don't know who Saber Interactive are, they're the current makers of what's it called? Sorry, Space Marine 2. And apparently, even when they're sold, they can still work on the game. So that's a bit of a relief, if you ignore the gameplay trailer, which wasn't overly good. They were acquired in 2020. They worked on the port for Kingdom Come Deliverance. In response to the 2022 Russian invasion of Ukraine, Saber relocated to Belarus and Russia employees to a new studio in Yerevan, Armenia. And now they're selling again for $500 million. An amount that I wipe my ass with daily, because that's such a shit amount for the things they do. Let's have a look. Look, their list of games is endless. They've mostly done, ports. They're working on A Quiet Place, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, the remake for that, an untitled Painkiller game, one of my favourite boomer shooter franchises. What else? Gloomhaven. Lots of different games. Quake Champions, Redout 2, SnowRunner, Evil Dead, World War Z, and Aftermath. The Crysis remasters. They work with 343 to do the multiplayer aspects of a lot of their games. Halo 3 ODST, Halo 4, Halo 3, 2, 1, etc. Call of Cthulhu game. I really like that. Yeah, so they're being sold. Actually, 500 million isn't a bad price for them. I will say that much. Considering that what EDOS Interactive sale price, how much were they sold for? 300 million? 300 million! Crystal Dynamics and EDOS were sold for 300 million. Which is amazing. So that's just what broke me today. And the more I've learned, I wish I hadn't Googled this, but I learned that Jim Ryan, who's just laid off 900 people as part of making his company more money and himself more money, I thought I was willing to bet money that he'd actually take a bonus, but I actually learned that he's retiring in March. Yeah, Jim Ryan retires in March, so he ruins 900 people's lives to save his company money, a company that he's not going to be working for, and probably give himself a bonus at the end of it, and then he gets retirement. Great. Good game, guys. Good game. I swear I'm missing something else, but it doesn't come to mind at the moment. Insomniac are losing... Oh, there is something else as well. I want to talk about that as well. But Insomniac, whose only bad game... Let's actually have a look at their stuff. Games... Oh, yeah, so they were going to be working on Spider-Man and Wolverine. Let's actually have a look at all of their games. And I want to find a single bad one. Going all the way back to Disruptor, their first game. So, okay, poor sales, fine, fair enough. And hey, it was their first game. You know, we can't all be Naughty Dog or whatever, can we? Oh, they had Psionics. Nice. I'd actually love to play this game. I might well have done once upon a time when I was doing PS1 game reviews. Let's have a look. Can we actually get a full list of their games rather than just this? Games developed. So it's Spyro 1, 2, and 3, obviously good. Ratchet and Clank, obviously good. Going Commando, or Locked and Loaded. I mean, whatever you might think about their games, they're probably going to be decent enough. Alright, especially if you look at them now. Yeah. At the time, I'm gonna, like, Up Your Arsenal. What a name. What a name. Up Your Arsenal. I bet they're feeling that now. Deadlocked, third-person shooter game. It was like a more like arena-based one. Resistance Fallen Man. Didn't really quite compete with Killzone, but it was, you know, a fairly good game. The Quest for Booty. Tools for Destruction. I remember all these games on PS3. They were amazing. A Crack in Time. Full Frontal Assault. Outernauts. Fuse. So Fuse was meant to be a game called Overstrike. If ever you see the Overstrike early prototype, you'll see that the art style looked to be like Overwatch. But bear in mind this was from 2013, so Overwatch wasn't a thing then. And it looked pretty good. And EA basically focus tested it, and EA asked a bunch of hormone-riddled teenage boys, what do you want in a video game? And they all said Call of Duty. And they already had Call of Duty. And if you don't know what it is, it's Call of Duty. And Call of Duty is, like, perhaps, you know, at the time, it was the most popular video game in the world, pretty much. It remains quite popular. I know Fortnite has kind of just knocked it down a peg, but yeah, still remains a popular game. Into the Nexus Sunset Overdrive. I wasn't overly keen on Sunset Overdrive, to say that I loved the Sunset TV marketing campaign. It was fantastic. I love Sunset Overdrive. If ever I can find some Delirium Overdrive XT drink, I will buy it. I wanted to go through E3 just for that, to be honest. Song of the Deep? Don't think about another one. I'm trying to think of games that they've actually done badly. But very few of them actually storm out. Stormlands? Yeah. Miles Morales, Spider-Man 2, etc., etc. So, yeah. So the point is they put out consistent bangers. They are one of the most reliable studios. And if you have a look at all these games, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3, PS3, PS2, PS2, PS5, PS3, PS2, PS3, PS Vita, PS3, 3, 2, 4, 5, 4, 5, 5, 5, 4, 3, PlayStation 1. Yeah. It's just absolutely astonishing to me that they've put out so many good games. And they've always done well by Sony. And I thought that when they were brought on, that Sony would do right by them. Now, I know the language used that it was getting rid of 50 to 70 underperformers, but like, how do you underperform? Like, their lowest effort at Insomniac is like the vast majority of studios' highest effort. And you've got rid of this studio that has done constantly well by you. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're not like from the Spyro days where they had only a couple of people. They now have, how many people have they got? According to Wikipedia, they have over 400 employees. Oh, okay, so actually, like, that's in 2021 they had over 400 employees. They have two different studios and they have two studios in different locations. Okay, and they're based in Cali, so costs are going to be quite high there. Fair enough. They were founded 30 years ago on the February 28th, 1994. That must have been some good news. Congratulations on making it to 30 years. We're getting rid of 5% of your workforce. I mean, like, what are the targets like at this company? You know, Spider-Man 2, like a $300 million game. I couldn't be trusted. I don't know anyone that I'd trust with $300 million to make a game. And follow the success of the first one. Bear in mind, it's got the Insomniac name. You know? That would, like, honestly, like, once upon a time, like, Blizzard had that sort of thing, where if you saw Blizzard, you were guaranteed the best game for a very long time. Valve, you know? Naughty Dog. These studios, like Insomniac, really should be up there as one of those absolutely recognizable, instantly recognizable household names as one of the best studios ever. To say that they basically made one objectively bad game, and even though it's just painfully average. I remember playing it at the time, it wasn't overly great, but I don't know, maybe I've got nostalgia goggles on and remembering it too highly even then. So yeah, so how do you like follow the success of the first Spyro? How do you follow the success of the first Ratchet and Clank? You know, one of the games that pioneered the sort of the much more action-oriented platform games. You know, against Spider-Man was just amazing. And now they're gone. And now like 5% of their workforce is gone. When were they acquired? Like, I'm so glad that other people are actually making their own studios and whatnot. When were they acquired? Sony acquisition 2019, so they've had a good 5 years. But I'm just astonished. Fucking hell. Like, this is the studio you want to shit can people from? Yeah. Related to this is Toys for Bob going independent. So Toys for Bob are a studio that was bought by Activision, and they were responsible for like the Skylanders games. And it was the Skylanders games that basically allowed us to have the Spyro remasters. Activision is sitting on so many intellectual properties that they daren't touch. And it's things like that, and well, yeah, Crash to Insanity as well. No, sorry, Crash Insane Trilogy that allowed us to get the really nice trilogy. And for all my criticisms with it, and to be honest, most of those aren't genuine, impactful criticisms. It's mostly just nitpicks. Yeah, it was a fine series, but yeah, it was like Skylanders that they were responsible for, and making Activision a fuck ton of money. And then Toys for Bob were just in the direction that things are going. They're like, no, we want to go independent. So that means that, I mean, they are talking with Microsoft about deals with their existing games and future ones, but they are cancelling support for Crash Team Rumble at the end of March. So if you I don't know what Crash Team Rumble is. I think it's like an iOS game. Let's have a look while we're on Wikipedia. Crash Team Rumble. Online multiplayer game. Is it? Oh, it was released for PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox. Oh, right, it wasn't on anywhere else. Yeah. A strategic platformer. Okay. Right. Sounds interesting, but it's not being supported in anywhere. So yeah, so whether they're going to be making another Spyro game or not, or another Skylanders game, it's unknown. But whatever Toys for Bob do, I wish them the best. I hope that the breakaway is nice and clean, and they can do their own thing. But we have also seen what happens when people go independent of Activision. We saw with Destiny that Bungie just aren't that great a developer. At least whatever has become of Bungie now. When they made Halo, it was fantastic, and I do stand by the fact that like the gameplay, the moment-to-moment gameplay of Destiny is pretty good. But yeah. But anyway, that's my rant essentially. Well, it's not entirely. I'm gonna say this. Fuck the industry, really. I'm just not arsed with it anymore. I know I've said that before, but like I can't argue with people who want to pirate games. I can't argue with people who just I've basically stooped to the level where I used to try and improve the quality discourse and not be so heated and irrational. I wanted to try and actually talk to people and get them to understand the greater parts of the industry, but I'm just like, no, fuck it. Fuck it. I can't. I haven't got the mental capacity to be rational about a lot of this stuff anymore. It's like, no. I'm not going to treat these people and these layoffs like some fucking intellectual discourse opportunity as some sort of thought experiment. Real lives have been affected by these jobs. And the thing is, like, these artists, and that's what they are, if we're to believe that video games are art, these artists have been paid for their work and they've been let go. If we want to treat it as clinically as that, then fine. So then in that case, well, I don't see any value in what the publisher's doing, so fuck it. If people want to pirate games and whatnot, I'm not going to debate it anymore. I wasn't that really against piracy in the first place. It's not something I'm interested in myself, but I find it hard now to justify a publisher's efforts. And these acquisitions, I knew some of these acquisitions were going to go to shit, but I didn't realise all of them were going to be this bad. So I'm not happy with the industry. It's like I will shed no more tears for anyone in this industry. We've seen the effects now of what it does to people. I don't believe publishers deserve the money they're making. I don't personally think even I deserve video games for if this is the cost of making video games, the abject misery it causes people. For art to just be totally disregarded as underperforming as part of restructuring. $300 million it took to make Spider-Man 2. How do you sustain that? Underperforming. Fuck this. Right. Let's shrink me back down. Like my tiny Willy. Let's play some fucking Pillars of Eternity. By a developer I like. Who does good shit. For all— oh, fuck's sake, it's crashed. Appropriate. Jim Ryan gets to fucking retire after this. What a fucking farce. Let's shut it down and retry. Because I do want to play some Pillars. You know, if I weren't so knackered this week, I might well have actually just been able to brush some of this off, but nah. If we want to call games art, we've got to stop with this stupid fucking shit of of treating artists like this. If we want games to be taken as a serious art form, well, let's fucking do it. No, I want to be bigger. There. Yeah, half job. Right, there we go. Well, this is a very sexual episode. Some strange reason. I sincerely apologise. But it's bad. It's bad. And it's not even March. And it's going to get worse. And it's going to be like this for the remainder of March. Like, oh, Warlock's Codex. That's interesting. Oh, never mind.
As you wish. Come on, Commander will figure it out.
Ayla's not here, so we can't do anything about that. Yeah, that's about Holy Radiance. And my health is critically low. 272 did that, so was that just 272? Yeah, I think that's what it was. I'm just a bit on autopilot at the moment. We'll be alright. Yeah, I'm not happy with the industry. I'm not happy with this industry. Like, I can't defend anymore. It's like, I used to be the kind of person like where I'm like, no, I'm not going to buy this game on discount because I want to make sure that this developer gets the money, or I want to go on the website, or I want to contact the devs and actually ask to give them the money for a code. You know? That sort of stuff. But now it's just like, I don't care. I actually don't care. It's like they've been paid for the job. If games are art, see the fucking art. In whatever way you feel is appropriate. Because these people have been paid, that's good. It's just a pity that it's just like so commercialized. Because the publisher doesn't care, so I don't have the capacity in me. I don't have it in me anymore to care. I'm so sorry for that. But I'm not sorry about it. I can't be sorry. I ain't got the energy anymore. I've been doing reviews and coverage and discourse for God only knows how long.
I brought you a scarf.
Oh,
Thanks, Mariel.
I think I see something.
Action Spike, wait. Who are you? You're the Lord from Canada, aren't you? What are you doing here? So just making sure I'm not covering up any dialogue. Calm down, I'm not here to hurt anyone. Well, what are you here for? You're liable to get there for the dogs if you patrols get you. You two are too. Too cold to get up to anything. Young people have no imagination these days. Stealing some time away, no harm in that, is there? You're here with that army. No, we're just villagers. You're well armed, considering. Please, just keep it down. Alec might be asleep on duty, but he's not the only one around. Do you know anything about the delegates from Stalwart? Just obvious. They do a good job of negotiating. Commander's been furious the past week. Doesn't like him. What can you tell me about the commander? The commander? He pulled the Iron Flail together himself. He's a good man. He believes in Red Cirrus. More than anyone. He gave us our pride back. Told us to keep faith. Sometimes I think the Vigilante speaks to him. Careful. He'll go on for hours if you let him. What's I do with the enemy? Hey, to be so dramatic, we aren't hurting anyone. Besides, everyone here seems pretty reasonable. He speaks to the commander. Can't help you. And just because I don't just mean that they string me up for it. If you come before the delegates arrived, they might have had a chance. As it is, it looks like room for a fight. The commander's not taking any risks. I'm not supposed to be out here. We serve us. Farewell. Take care now. Where were we? Yeah, well, too bad that your commander's fucking dead. Yeah, I'm appalled that I've actually allowed myself to get that passionate about this, but it's just a constant barrage of shit news from this industry. I'm just like this, the AAA machine, it cannot keep going like this. Ooh. Prayer bracelet, okay. Priest of Aethys encouraged the Red Serons to Aethys. To pray to Aethys, well. Okay. So yeah, but it's like I just can't see any other way of getting around this. Like, I don't want to reward this industry for doing stupid shit and just laying people off all the time. It's like at the end of the day, the devs are paid a salary. You know, what happens after is, I'm not going to say it's no concern of theirs. Because obviously they've created a work of art and they're passionate about it and all the rest of it, and that I fully appreciate. And at the same time, I'm just like, it's like, no, that's their art. That's what they've worked their arse off, and not just because the money demands it, and not just because the conditions they work in. It's because they wanted to make it. It was a passion project. Something they take great pride in. So, I ain't gonna lie, I don't know what to say or do. But I don't want to reward this industry. I mean, thank Christ that like I'm actually losing a lot of interesting games in the first place. I've got other hobbies, and that the games I want, you know, the games that I want to play I bought ages ago, and all the rest of it, you know? Oh, fucking hell, if that's not a grim attitude to have to a hobby. That's fair enough. What are you doing here? I'm here to speak to the commander. Commander's not receiving any more visitors. Star Wars sent you? Yes. Yeah, for your delegates? Commander has them in a cell. We will have the truth out of them one way or another. As for you, Derek wants nothing more to do with messengers or diplomats. You're too late. Why are you here? Derek has said that there will be a great battle. We have to hold the pass and defend Riyadh Surus. You have seen it in a dream. Haven't your people learned your lesson from would-be prophets? He had a vision. Just what he has seen with his own concerns. And Derek leads us well. We don't question his orders. You ask more than enough questions.
The Red Serens have always been as cold as these mountains. They must feel right at home.
Yeah, no worries, I'll just kill everyone in sight then. But you're not gonna let me pass? But yeah, it's like, I don't know what to do. But I'm not interested in, I'm just not interested in giving these companies that much more any more money. Really. They've just fucking broke me. You know. And I know this is going on elsewhere in other industries that are far more important. I do. I fully 100% appreciate that. I'm not someone who believes that video games are the most... So I sent Sagani because she has the highest stealth skill, basically. Now we're going to try and sneak in. See how well this goes. I don't care if it goes well or not. I'll fight them all. Yeah. So I'm just genuinely pissed off with them.
Of course. Rifle back! What is it?
Like how they all just picked on Sagani there. We'll use our defense spells then.
No prisoner!
Come on, 6 phrases chanted. In fact, let's use the 6 phrases.
Kill them all!
I'll improve attack speed. But we no longer need. Right.
Yes.
Right. I'm so glad they all slept through that.
As you wish.
I'm guessing that... Go, go, go. I thought he was thinking everything that way, but no. I'm sure there's another entrance, but let's go into the different door. Why not? Okay. So I suppose it does actually show on the loading screen, but the ways you can go in. Please, listen.
Enough! I've had my fill of... What's this? What? Who are you?
Oh, sorry, I meant to be reading this. The Iron Flail commander is a younger man, lean in build. His brown hair is unkempt, his eyes fevered. At his feet is a grate set over what appears to be a pit. You hear a smattering of anxious cries rising from the cell as the commander steps forward. He glares through the grate, face a mask of rage.
More of your scheming friends? Not a scrap of honor in the lot of you.
I prefer to settle this peacefully.
I'm sure you would, now that you're here. You want to talk? Set down your...
Eric's words die in his throat. His expression frozen mid-snarl. It isn't clear what has happened until you start to feel it too. Oh, it's green. Unbidden, your senses drift. As you would reach out towards the source of essence, you feel an ache in your chest, an almost painful sensation of being pulled forward. A sudden wave of memories floods your mind. There is the day they formed. You see Odima's campsite, ravaged by the Biowick. The halls of Cadno. I just need to check something real quick. Yeah, sorry. Is the halls of Cadno. You tread wet cobblestones beneath copper lanes, seeking the leaden key. You climb winding steps towards the top of a tower that past the clouds. The image watches over you, tracing lives and emotions from 100 different times and places. Not all are your own. Slowly you become aware of the sensation of being watched. I reach out. You direct your senses, tracing the invasion to its source. Derek. Conviction burns to him bright as a brazier. For an instant you share in his emotion, and a sourceless desperation rattles about your skull. Absent context, the fragments of memory you see are just images. A small house across a field of vibrant purple flowers. A sea of armoured kith and flapping banners waiting on your command. There's an uncomfortable moment when you feel your twinned awareness turning in on itself. And the connection is severed. Derek looks startled, his face ashened. You're a watcher?
You sure he's not just a weirdo with an empty stare? I get those confused a lot.
That's not...
Derek glances around the room, his face colouring.
That's not known to many. Not past these walls.
I sense his fear, his shame.
I'm glad I've got the Grieving Mother here. Apparently, the Watcher and the Grieving Mother, if they're both if you're a Cipher Watcher, your dialogue with the Grieving Mother can be changed quite a lot. You can have a lot of exchanges, which have been good. I do like this interaction as well, where there's two Watchers here.
Why have you come? Why now?
Right. Why can't I answer Derek's question? Well, true or not, I can't claim either I can't either claim battery. No. I want to ask him. I want to tell him because I had a vision that led me here. So I'm going to go for the closest option, which is not what I wanted at all.
You've come all this way to indulge your curiosity?
He seems a little relieved at your discretion. I think Watchers don't enjoy the best reputation of Riotsaurus. Intellect 14, that's the higher one, so I'm going to go for that.
Does everyone in the Deerwood boast of their afflictions?
In the brief quiet that follows, Derek looks very tired. He doesn't lower his sword. I'm going to use option 1. You're ashamed. Why?
It's hardly something to be proud of. Look to your own sins, Watcher. I'll not share mine.
I can't often read living memories so clearly. That felt like a cipher reading.
I wouldn't know. Perhaps we simply worsen each other's condition.
The prospect seems to trouble him.
What? What is it?
I thought all the other watchers were mad.
That wouldn't bode well for you, would it?
And Eric's tone is irritable, but he watches you with wary interest. I mean, no, it wouldn't. What, was the writing guy off today?
I've a firm grip on my senses, whatever you believe. The Watcher's curse is many things, but if it promised madness, I would not have taken command of the Iron Flail. The memories I saw, some of them couldn't have belonged to you. You're awakened, aren't you?
You also awakened?
No, of course not.
And Eric studies you with grim fascination. Do you know of a cure? And Eric stares at you. Eventually he gives a slight shake of the head.
It seems a terrible thing to be awakened and a Watcher both. I'm sorry.
Gonna screenshot that. And there's powerful lines like that. And yeah, and he seems sincere. That despite our differences, despite the obvious shite going on here, he does actually seem sincere in his apology.
We're in the middle of something, I believe.
I came to find out what happened to the delegates.
All this for them? Infiltrating my fort, skulking through the camp.
What kind of reaction did you expect? You held them captive without notice.
They'd like to paint us as the unreasonable ones back in Stalwart, wouldn't they? I never planned this. It wasn't my intention. We wanted to negotiate. Stalwart sent delegates to discuss terms of peace. I offered them the opportunity. I was generous. But Stalwart sent soothsayers, not diplomats, to frighten us with stories of the moon going dark, the earth shaking.
It's true. It's all true. The waves will swallow us all. Shrill voice. Sorry. It's true. It's all true. The waves will swallow us all. A shrill voice suddenly rises from the pit. Derek stomps down angrily on the bars, drowning her out. You don't think you overacted a little?
Don't play the fool with me. These omens are meant to frighten me, to make me doubt my purpose here. But there is more at stake here than a village in the mountains. They dismiss my faith, call us superstitious. But what does Stalwart believe in? Iron and gold, and nothing else. I have tilled barren fields with my bare hands. What is gold to me?
He looks down the grate of the cell, eyes flashing with sudden anger. Perhaps you and I can talk now. Now, let me ask him for more information. What do you want with Stalwart, anyway?
With a village of fishermen, nothing. But they cling fiercely to the forge you gave them.
Well, yeah. Why wouldn't they?
Some of the men are here for gold and good steel, and I promised them their share. But I came for cannons.
Yeah, but I kind of gave them the cannons as well.
With the battery's cannons, we can hold the pass.
Against
Raid
what?
Ceres has suffered enough. Its sons and daughters have nothing.
He looks at it here, jaw working.
We won't survive an attack from the Deerwood when it comes. Not unless we act.
Why is he looking at a deer? Like, it's cool that they had that there. But how does he know that? I don't know. Not unless we act.
There is an army coming. I've seen it. Pouring down from the mountain. It will crush Stalwart and come for Raid Ceres.
It's not me coming out. I've seen it coming down.
The Iron Flail will be the wall that safeguards my homeland from the worst these fire worshippers can bring to bear.
Makes you think the Deerwood is going to attack. I'll definitely with my light. I'm going to go with it in Intellect 12, first of all. Option 3. Between the Duke's assassination and the Hollowborn crisis, Deerwood's a little preoccupied.
So I believed. Hoped, maybe. But that only means they're angry. They'll look for someone to blame, an enemy to fight.
But you had a vision of an army.
I warn you, if you think to taunt me, Watcher...
No, I had a vision too. In mine I saw Cadnua reduced to rubble by an army that shook the earth. Doubt creases at Eric's brow. His men exchanged looks, waiting tensely for orders.
Why would they turn on their own? No. You're trying to trick me. This is all another distraction.
All that destruction you saw, you really think a bunch of into the backwater fools can do that? He's like 14. Clever.
Hey, you can call them backwater fools all you want, but don't let them hear you badmouth their destruction.
Adira looks at Adira frowning. Oh, dear. I remember thunder and 100 eyes gazing back at me. Any of that sound familiar? I thought the Iron Flail might be the army in my own vision. Perhaps we both made a mistake.
Why should I believe any of this? You would say anything at all to protect Stalwart.
You read my soul. What did that tell you? Let's go with diplomat.
That you're soft-hearted. But it hasn't seemed to stop you.
It's interesting. Whenever you go for like the diplomatic option, it usually says like diplomatic 3 or benevolent 3 or aggressive 3. It seems to be just going off a different route. Then again, I don't know. I'll have to check that actually. But that's interesting. Yeah, benevolent. You're soft-hearted. So it seems to be going for like your most dominant seems to go for your most favourable stat or whatever. Benevolent 3. But it hasn't seemed to stop you.
And that you have seen and done a great many things. Things I would not have otherwise believed.
We both know something's coming. Maybe 2 watchers can figure out how to stop it. For several moments there was nothing but silence in the cabin. You hear the scraping of a metal as Adira takes up his sword, only to lay it flat across his palms.
I led my people here because I believed we were on the right path. I bound my soul to this blade as proof of my surety.
There's a ripple of soul energy in the air. There and gone. Adira looks pained.
The sword's no good to me now. It's yours. For as long as you can wield it.
Oh, steadfast.
I'll call in our forces from the mountains. Please, give me time to explain. You should speak with Stalwart's messengers. Perhaps you'll get some answers out of them.
That. So we want to do things. And I've got the ability to sever the soul. The watcher targets the very essence of a creature with their next attack, bypassing the attack's defenses and leaving them weakened. Entry go path. Oh. That's good. I'm glad that exchange went as well as it did. We will talk to people in a bit. Boots of speed. Speed! Is there anything good going on in the industry? Oh, the Tomb Raider 1, 2, and 3 remaster on Epic is basically an early access version because they had to save resources for the big release on other systems. Yeah, there's also like Open Tomb Raider or Open Lara, which sounds a bit strange. It's like open source Tomb Raider games, so they want to make those better. So that's good. Okay, let's talk to the people here. Right, okay. How is there a pit there? Was the pit made after the camp was put here? Has it always been there? And the camp's been built around it? This is a forward camp and it's fairly elaborate. I will say though, I do actually like sort of walls back there though. This is very Baldur's Gate. This interior is actually one of the most like Baldur's Gate interiors I've seen. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned this fact. The inn at the beginning of the game, the Black Hound Inn, that's actually named after Baldur's Gate 3, the like the Legend of the Black Hound, and that was what the original Baldur's Gate 3 was going to be. And Black Isle Studios, who are one of 2 components, or rather one of several components of Obsidian Entertainment, was going to make Baldur's Gate 3 originally. So Just thought you ought to know that. So it's a nice little reference there. So I'll ask them, are you hurt? No, no, a little bruise perhaps, but the cold was the worst part. I don't know how you managed to talk that man down. He was practically foaming at the mouth. And now he and his men are still skulking around the mountains. I'm not sure letting him live was the best idea. So I've had a good increase in reputation and then minor negatives. Okay. A commander wasn't the problem. One of the delegates pointed an accusing finger at another woman standing apart from the rest. We might have come to terms if she hadn't goaded him, shouting at him about omens and curses, demanding he'd leave the march. You know how superstitious the Riyadh Serens are. The commander went white as a sheet. She sabotaged the mission. The woman in question is dressed in unassuming robes. She bears the accusation silently, her eyes closed as if in prayer. Care to explain yourself? With desperate speed, the woman suddenly lunges sidelong towards a nearby rack, sees his dagger lying there. She sets the blade to her own throat. Bravo. I'm a watcher, you dick. Unseen to all but yourself, a dying woman's soul essence coils in thin wisps around her body. And it grows brighter as the corpse stills. The remaining delegates stare in horror at her pooling blood. What happened? Damn it. I will never get an answer out of her. Read the woman's soul. You reach out and brace against a sudden flare of pain and fear, digging after less recent events. There's a copper taste in your mouth, and a pain like fire in your throat. Under the brute terror of death, you find a conforming thread of resolve, of satisfaction in duty fulfilled. You follow it. It leads you stumbling into another memory, as whole and vivid as the first. You walk the dark halls of an abbey, dimly lit and quiet, your footsteps loud, a blur as you are standing in a dimly lit room facing the robed Armour. You recognize him as Coato, the High Abbot, who beckons you forward. You're in a wide, rounded chamber. The tiles beneath your feet are covered in strange, curling symbols. You recognize them as the symbols of Andra, goddess of sea and memory. The memory blurs. When your sight is clear, you are standing in front of Coato. He is smiling gently down at you.
Drive the raid Sarens from these mountains, and you may yet spare many lives.
Oh, raid Sarens now, so gotcha.
The Tidebringer will be here in a week's time. Should you be delayed in your travels, report to him as you would to me. He will enter the reliquary and call off the army of Iris in my stead. If you are caught, sister, you know what you must do. I will pray for your return, but we will take comfort in the knowledge that you have joined the rest of Andra's favorite in her keeping.
Words jar you loose from the memory, flinging you back into the memory of the woman's death, and then into your own skin. The traces of her memory join yours. You know the path to the abbey to which she was to return, buried in the mountains to the north. Is the name Eyeless familiar to anyone? The Eyeless. They're a figure of speech. For when you can't remember something, you say it must be the Eyeless took it from me. Yes, but there's a story to it. They're supposed to do the bidding of the Lady of Lament. Andra points and they come, out of nowhere, wipe things to the face of the world. That's why whenever something's up and missing, something's up and goes missing or gets destroyed with no one there to see it, you're supposed to thank Andra that the Eyeless didn't come for you too. Do you know a Coato? Coato? Oh, yes. He came through town some time back. Stopped by that little installment. This is just after the town decided to rededicate itself to Abaddon. Didn't seem too pleased about it. He was dressed like a priest. Maybe he took offence. He's no mower. Tall fellow. Very polite, considering he's the leader of some fanatical sect. I think it's clear that we haven't seen the best judges of character recently. Don't even know what a Tidebringer is. Tidebringer? That's something they used to talk about in the Temple of Order, I think. It's a person, a title, I mean. It tends to be used in the more devout circles. What do you know about the Abbey in the North? I've heard there's something like that. An underright stronghold. And the kind of place that welcomes visitors. Is that where she came from? Say, is that where she came from? Yeah, since where they'll find the reliquary so I can call off their army. What, another one? God, it feels like everyone in the aura is in the battery now. After the battery now. Why would these Underites want this red Sirens out? I doubt it's for Stalwart's benefit. Competition, maybe? Looks like I fouled over their plans in any case. Oh, sorry, I meant the... Needs a reason. If you do go to this abbey, be careful. There have been some stories about traders wandering north and getting scared off or even killed by strange guards. They're a secretive bunch. I suppose you could always try to sneak in. I don't be welcome otherwise. Sounds like this Tidebringer would be. Welcome, I mean. Maybe I can convince them then that I'm the one they've been waiting for. I hope so. I hope so. I imagine the abbey is heavily get. A sudden deafening crash from outside makes the delegate jump. Startled. A rumbling like thunder follows. You hear further sounds of smashing timbers, panic, screaming. Gods have mercy. Sorry, gods have mercy. What is it now? Stay put. I'll take care of it. Yes, well, we'll hit it. Inside. That sounds like cannon. Well, that's another thing. It would have been nice to actually talk to the Red Sirens about the fact that we have cannon now. Maybe that could convince them to stay away. Yeah, so the cannons are in Stalwart's hands. Do you really want to go up against them? But yeah. Excuse me 1 second, I'm just going to pause for a minute. And I shall be back real soon. And I'm back. Sorry to keep you waiting. Let's go outside and find out what that noise is. This industry. I swear to God. I don't know. I hope I can come back to it and be a bit more rational one day, but like objective, survive. Oh goody. Good to afford if you can't keep those things out. I fully agree.
What good's a fort that can't keep those things out?
If they're vessels, which they are, they'll take extra damage. You've got 6 chance that summon that Drake. As the last Make Folk falls, a tide of essence sweeps the ether. Washes over you and you find yourself in the memories of the Eyeless. Okay. By the way, this is the sort of scene that you'd get in, like, Pillars of Eternity 2. You're gonna get used to that. I will say, actually, I love the art style of these. It's very, like, OSR. In its own sort of way. I love it. Hulking creatures surround you, their sinew-wrapped skeletons clanking and screeching in the semi-darkness. Their bodies fill the air with the tang of metal and the musk of sweat. The cavern in which you stand, it looks like a cavern anyway, glows in the dark, glows with a dim ambient light. Steel flashes of the eyeless shift and stir. They stamp their feet and groan in rasping metallic voices. The restless energy bickles at the back of your neck. And the echoing rumble you hear something familiar. It's the pounding noise of your dream. The harbinger of a terrible army. Oh shit, sorry. You push past the lumbering eyeless and cling to the wilting shreds of your vision. The cavern broadens before you. It swells with echoes until you hear the growling, grinding sounds of the eyeless all around. You pull yourself onto the glowing crystalline outcropping and survey the expanse of blunt heads and piston arms. There aren't scores of them. There are hundreds. Vision ends, returning you to the frozen, blood-churned mud of the fort. Derek appears to have taken some blows. There's a purpling bruise along his temple and his armor is dented in several places. He looks rather dazed.
Those things, they came from all sides. The delegate... No, you were right. The visions are true. You fought well. And I'm glad to see you've come through in one piece. Not many of my men were so lucky. I'll take what's left of our forces. Those that will follow me further up the mountain. We should be prepared when those monsters return.
Beat them if we work together.
I have seen already that there is little you can't accomplish.
Derek bows his head and turns to the road. Okay.
I felt their suffering, Watcher. Theirs is the agony of a lost child.
Upper light. Okay, I'll let you read this if you want to. It's quite appropriate that we're dealing with Andra as well. If you want to read, pause, otherwise we're going to continue. We've got the Lover's Ring, the Silver Ring, and the Cop's Ring. Swap Endurance. Transferred from the caster. And Swap Endurance. That's quite clever. Transferred from the caster. Okay. That's pretty cool. So one person in your party wears one ring and another wears another. And you swap endurance. Which is kind of neat. I'll keep it there.
What is it?
So let's see what's left of this place. Well, there's some good loot here. So yeah, it's like, no hard feelings about killing all your dudes, right?
I can do that. As requested.
Yeah. I'm in your base, killing your dudes. It is a pity that so few people, I think nowadays, are going to recognize memes like that. You know?
What's this?
Warp up. We can loot these things. Vessel flesh. I'm binding copper. So I'm guessing that they want the forge to, I don't know, make more of themselves. Not entirely sure the end goal. And that sort of bothers me about these things. Cool monster design though, I'll give them that. They've, yeah, very interesting take on biomechanical things. So, we know of the location. Oh, sorry, we don't know that. We won't march start to. Travel to the Abbey. Yeah. Oh, we gotta go to this Abbey. Fair enough. So, yeah. But as far as I'm aware, like, all the old quests are still available. The side quests, if we want to do them. So this was an abbey that was mentioned before, so let's go there. I don't see any reason to go anywhere else just yet. So yeah. I will probably take on the dragon at the end of the expansion. Long Bosk. Oh, that reminds me. Which money have I got? Infiltrate the Abbey of the Fallen Moon. Another money. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a while before I buy any more games. I don't want to buy anything really of publishers that still exist. And developers that aren't going to see any money from it, so, yeah. Dwarf, clothed in but a few straps of fur, puffs up his bare chest with every drag from his pipe. Come along with her, get some air of you. Looking to get inside. No, what are you doing here? Enjoying the fine weather, just a bit longer. He smiles, and a cloud of smoke and frosted breath escaped through his teeth. My mistress said I'd business with one of the underwrights. I'll be off soon. Soon as she's done at the Abbey. Meantime, I was told to stay put. I don't want any outsiders meandering about. They don't want any outsiders meandering about. He's already put some kind of hex on me. Says I won't even remember any of this. For the copper's worth it. She says I'll wake up at home with a full coin purse. I'll possess most of my mornings, so that had a sudden appeal. I bet you, mistress. Which one? That's out a trickle and slaps his chest. A reddening print blows on his skin. Wish you were the fun kind. She was a gift bearer. Bade me well to guard her on the journey, though. Look at the inside. Or, you know. Or, I know, straight this way. The middle path on the right, with a round arch at the end course. Underwrights are none too friendly, but to their own. My mistress went through the archway, so that's some gas there, then heading on. They got eyes on the other paths. Guess me a dirty luck's on far away when they pass, this way. As if I'd stand here in plain view, if I had some grand designer sneaking into the blazing church. What's an abbey got worth hiding anywhere? Monks? If only you knew. Why are you helping me? You got a look about you. Look like you need it. Maybe there's something I don't like about this place. Like it's hiding something. My younger days, it'd been me going in there. Do you know of other ways into the abbey? I know, but it's an abbey, not a fortress. You can bet it's got holes like any other fat old monster. Supply passages, escape routes. I'd be lying if I said I never explored one uninvited when I was too young to know better. Myself to its relics. Let's just say that if a certain war goddess has a way, I'll be living my next life as a dungarroll bug. Oh well. That won't meet again, but any luck. My mistress will return soon. I'll be fine what you're looking for. Well, good luck, Bosk. So yeah, I think we'll spend a little bit of time on this quest and I'll call it. Because I'm not gonna lie, I'm too tired to be playing much longer for the time being. What a fucking farce. This week, this entire week, it's just been nothing but layoffs.
Even our visitor.
Oh. Hi, hold, who goes there? Kawato is waiting for me. I'm the Tidebringer. The guard's eye is narrow. How can I be sure? We're in the final days of Micron's Tide. Time of transition for our church. My presence is no accident. Law 6. The guard relaxes and appears relieved. Forgive my caution. We were told to expect you. The High Abbot awaits you inside. No, visitors. No landmarks so far. Yeah. So the games industry is. No, I'm not. I'm sort of done with it. But I'll play the games I've got to do Let's Plays and whatnot, but it just goes to show that I was of the theory that, you know, Microsoft wanted intellectual property and Sony wanted talent, and, well, that's not true. So, you see, Microsoft want money and Sony want money. That's just what it comes down to. I've always hated being a reductionist, but that's what it means now. That's what it is. So yeah. Ooh, just realised there's a boat. What are these bones of? Giant femur. There's a rainbow. Huh.
You look pale, sister. Find someone to take your place. I'll stand watch.
I'd hoped I was over this illness, but clearly not. I shall take your advice.
I'll give it a try. As requested.
I will give credit to this expansion and say that it's very good, that there's clearly a lot of options for stealth. If that's something you want to do. Okay. Excuse me again. I'm going to take another break, just do a few things, and I'll be back when I'm back. But I'll continue this on. Because yeah, I want to try and make up for the progress I lost. Well, not lost, but didn't make when I was doing my rant this morning, earlier in the video. So. Right. I'll be away. And I'm back. Let's walk around. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned before, but the whole thing with Toys for Bob. So, before they made the announcement to go independent, they had some layoffs. So I thought that might just add some context. So upon entering Microsoft, they got screwed over again. Let's go use some stuff. Yeah, they got screwed over. And they fought back. And I don't blame them one iota. Combusting moons. It's something. Do you have a ring of AoE? Give you that. We could do some better armor as well. Rage bonus. Oh, there it is. Well, barbarian. Barbarian, okay. I'll give you that instead. It's actually really good. Hmm. Yeah. What armor do you need? You're wearing light armor now. I don't know if you even need armor. You're using a crossbow. I don't think you need armor. But do I have any clothing? A hat. I don't appear to have any clothes. I do apologise. What have I done to you? I'll give you some robes if I can. The best robes. Oh. That's actually pretty suitable. Nice. I do like the padded armor on there though. It's good, isn't it? But yeah, right. Eddie. Eddie, do you need a sword? Oh, what's that? Oh, that's steadfast. Oh, would you look at that? And this sword combines with all classes. That's handy, isn't it? Will resolve. Do I want to give him that? I would like him to have a soulbound weapon. Why should I go for that? But who else uses swords? That I'm going to bring to the party. Sheath and Autumn is such a good blade. You know what? No, you don't need it.
Yes.
We'll wait for a better sword to come along. If it is better, I'll equip it later. But I want to do some reading about it first. This area is forbidden. Okay. The fuck? Okay, so is it just that particular area, or can I, like, skulk around some more? Can I just say, they haven't expected me? I don't know. I'm not going to argue with it too much. Yeah. It's the little things that just build up. Yeah. So I've actually had a plan, and I thought, you know what? What I might do is, like, going forward,
Eyes open.
I might actually just... Okay, yeah, they're clearly not going to let me through there. There's no going to avoid them. I think I'm actually just going to go through my backlog and play the games I own. I mean, that was sort of the plan anyway with this a bit off series anyway, but now I feel even less pressure to actually buy any games whatsoever, you know. I'm not going to pretend that I'm going to clear my backlog or anything like that, but this might actually bring me closer, so yeah. And then it really can be a bit off, so I can decide how much of it I'm going to play. Wristbone, hands without providing any clues. That's the location of its matching hand. I see, or... Still a seal shut, okay.
So they let you through?
There's a
You must be our
presence here,
visitor.
as
The High
vast
Abbot
and
awaits you
powerful
inside.
as the
Straight
tides.
back.
Thank you.
I'll give it a try, at least, as requested.
Skeleton's ribcage. Okay. So I'm guessing the skull's up there. It
How
requires
Joe knew Saman was upon us.
The Tidebringer. It's been so long.
My soul is ready, brother.
Great. As I was saying, the ribcage seems a bit small in comparison to the wrist,
I
but
should not have peered over the edge. I could see no bottom.
Ha! Perhaps if you pray, the lady will allow you to forget.
okay, so that's probably another way of sneaking in. Oh yeah. So you got the ribs there, but the leg there, his wrist is there, so his hand must have fallen down the bottom there. There's his elbow in the ice. Another hand there. Who whistles and twists around the throat of his fingers of this giant skeletal hand. Well. Let's see what awaits us. But yeah. Let's continue on merrily. For a short while at least. I'm gonna have about half an hour. Yeah, I think breaking the videos up is a much better idea rather than doing just like an 8-hour long video. Because I know like it does generate a lot of views and whatnot, but it's not the point. If it's making it less palatable for people. So yeah, breaking it up into like an hour and 20 minutes, I think that's a good amount. I think that's what a lot of people can stomach, really. So, I think over the course of the weekend I'll be doing that. See how I feel. But yeah, so Pillars of Eternity 2 is my next plan, includes all its DLC, then maybe Dragon Age. Or Banjo-Kazooie.
You are a guest, I take it? You will find the abbot past the Chamber of the Fallen Moon, behind me.
Thank you. Oh, don't even get me started on Nintendo and Yuzu. So they're chasing down basically an emulator for like 4K. Emulator. Emulator they can
They
run.
call out sometimes. Even the guards below think it's strange.
For Andra, most like. They surely long for her embrace.
This is the record?
Yes. See that it is cast away with the others.
Interesting. Yeah. I think some of these are actually unique books.
I'm ready.
What is it?
Forgive me, Tidebringer, but it's not in my power to allow you to pass. You need the High Abbot's consent. It's a very diplomatic way of saying that. Thank you. Yeah, so basically Nintendo are suing, like taking the makers of Yuzu,
I'll give it a try.
a emulator capable of running Nintendo Switch games at 4K resolution to court. So
What is it?
So, Channel of the Higher, but okay, let's read this. But yeah, so it's like, first I was like, you know what, like, that's fair. I mean, Nintendo are always going to have to leak games and emulators and whatnot, but this is the first time I think it's like properly escalated, and it's like, yeah, because like, you know, you're still selling the Switch, you're still making money off it, you know. And I think no one needs Nintendo Switch games preserved right now. They're still in production. But at the same time, fuck Nintendo. The work culture that allows a lot of the things there is appalling, and it's interesting because, like, I remember people like praising Shigeru Iwata, God rest his soul, for taking a pay cut when the Wii U was flagging, and yeah, the thing is that he didn't do that out of the kindness of his heart. I mean, perhaps I'm sure he did, but that's also like standard practice in Japan, as I understand it, because you can't really let go of people. I think you can only actually fire someone if the company is provably in financial straits. However, because of that, if you're doing bad at your job, your life will be made a living hell there. And I think it's very hard to get a job afterwards as well. So yeah, so you lose a lot of rank and privilege if you cock up with a job, and you have to take, like, the CEO has to do everything in their power before they can actually fire people. So Shigeru Iwata had to take the pay cut, not because it was nice of him to do before he affected all of his other employees, but because he had to. It's alright saying, well, that should apply to the West as well, but no, the Japanese pay in different ways. There's a lot of terrible things with the corporate culture there. Not to say there isn't in the West either. I think it's just different shades of shit, really, rather than one is objectively better than the other. The Habits Journal. This volume appears to serve many functions. There are notes and entertaining schedules and routines at the Abbey. There are favourite passages from the Android text, annotated with personal insights. There are also descriptions of dreams. Many seem purely symbolic, but one entry is of interest. It has been a long time since I dreamt of my rising. Yet now, with another rising so soon upon us, this is the 5th time in a week. Perhaps, channeled here, I can put it to rest. I am walking through the halls of silence. I feel eyes upon me from all sides, angry, vengeful eyes. I arrange the panels and curl my hands into the sign of the tide, the right as the wave, the left tracing. The right as the wave, the left tracing the crescent moon, the mouse 2 fingers. The way opens to me. I climb the steps and under as witnesses installed there. The old aspergillum said to the operate the valves. I use it like a lever, and the water rises. Her angry shouts, and when I cover my ears, they're louder still. But the water continues upward, far past where it should. I climb as high as I can, but I feel it icy in my mouth. Icy on my feet, rather. It is then over my head, and I cannot breathe. I have no head, and I cannot breathe. Suddenly, I am outside the reliquary. looking at the Vale of Tears. The witness is in my hand, and the veil parts of it. I step through to one place in the Abbey. I feel protected. Once I pass inside, I come out in total darkness. I call for help. I'm shouting, screaming for help. There is no answer. I stop. I sit there in the dark, waiting for what seems like ages. Then I realize I don't know who I am. So the rising tide. So I don't even need to talk to the abbot. Let's see where that goes if I do. Hopefully we can come to some sort of peaceful resolution, but then again, I know the reality of the gods, so I actually don't care that much about what the abbot thinks. Yeah. Yeah, it'd be interesting to know if you can actually tell the world of the gods and the truth of them. Where are the other Andrites in the Abbey clad in drab, functional garments? This armor seems dressed for an occasion. His robe is bright and glossy. His neck and arms are bedecked with jewellery. The symbols of his goddess are crowned into every available space.
Ah, good. The Conclave has elected a Tidebringer after all. I had begun to worry.
He looks up. I come noticing your company and nods.
And they took my advice in providing you an escort. Very good. I am sorry I could not make your journey easier. I am Kauto, the High Abbot.
Oh, Kauto. My apologies. I came as soon as I could.
And just in time. The May Queen's tide is nearly past its peak. Much longer, and we'd have had to wait another year. The rules of the Rising are quite clear on that, unfortunately. When you are ready, we will begin with the recitation.
How did you become the High Abbot?
I was elected by the Conclave, as you were. But you already knew that much. It was unexpected. There were others more accomplished. I was merely a scholar. But they each had their faiths called into question, and no one could find cause to doubt mine. It was such an honor to become one of Andra's most trusted servants. It was hardly a choice at all. If you were not, you would be the first person to stumble across this place in all my years here. Andra protects us in this place. The faithful who stand guard here do it in her honor, not because we are vulnerable. You are our Tidebringer, aren't you?
In truth, I came here to enter your reliquary and call off the Eyeless.
I do not know how you came to know of this place, or the things you
Oh, that's a shame. Oh, well, we'll learn the game. And, see how that goes. I know I don't want to slaughter them all, but... We'll see how this goes. Because I do actually like doing all the dialogue options and understanding things. See.
Of course. And they took. I am Kauto, the High Abbot.
This is good.
It was such an honor to become one of Andra's most trusted servants.
For the recitation.
You seem nervous. The Conclave chose you for a reason. For a devout follower of Andra, the answers will flow naturally to you. I remember my own rising. The Conclave sent me on the same exhausting journey, When it came time for the recitation, I could not remember a word. But it all came back in time. Our goddess smiles upon the forgetful.
He taps a large golden ring within a wave insignia as though it approve.
Our library is open to you, as are the grounds outside. There is a beautiful mural out there that you should see, if you haven't yet. And you may, of course, speak with the gift-bearers here, if it helps your recollection. Take your time, and examine these things before your recitation.
What if I fail?
Do not be afraid to fail. A lapse here or there is to be expected. But do take care in your work. Even my patience has limits.
The Conclave mentioned something about a reliquary.
Yes, of course. I would not pass my station to you without passing that knowledge as well. It is the Abbey's most sacred chamber. When the rising is complete, I will take you there myself. In fact, the ritual demands it.
In the recitation.
Very good. We shall commence the rising. First is Anthu. Last is Dianthu. For the tide comes at the end and leaves at the beginning. I am Disaman the Ebb. Who comes this way?
I'm Summer, the flood.
Blessed be Saman, that washes over the shore and brings the end. Blessed be Disaman, that returns to the sea and leaves behind the beginning. A gift-bearer comes to Disaman and asks him to bear his burdens away. What token do you offer, gift-bearer?
I will just say before I continue, I like when games have like actual scripture and such like that, and you know, holy text and all that. It feels really authentic. Dragon Age did this really well as well with the chantry. They're really cool. That's what I definitely want to explore a bit more of in Dragon Age when we come to that. Law 9. I give myself for our gift bearer as no other tokens to offer.
The token is received in Andra's name. Tell me of your burdens.
I have none, but all that belongs to Andra is forgotten.
In Andra's embrace, our burdens are lifted.
Kato appears pleased. He nods.
The Tidebringer shows himself worthy of his charge. Your purpose here, Tidebringer, is to perform the ceremony of the rising. It is the transition of one phase of service to the next. On the level beneath us in the halls of silence, our low-tide brothers and sisters have lived for many years, sealed by their own will. It is time for them to be relieved of service, and for the high-tide brothers and sisters here to take their place.
In the halls below, you will find a relic, Andra's witness, a spigillum for dispensing holy water, but also something more.
The device will flood the halls of silence. This is the rising.
Were the people down there drowned?
It is the will of Andra. Every monk assigned to the Abbey understands and accepts this.
He smooths back his thick stalks of hair with one hand. A grey strand sticks to his farm. He frowns at it and looks back up and continues.
The monks here have all served as gift-bearers. We bear away people's most painful memories, and always a part of them remains with us.
This symbol here on the floor looks like the emblem of Tzeentch from Warhammer. Just thought you would know.
In the halls of silence, memory itself fragments until it is no more. The halls are a reprieve from a gift-bearer's burden.
He nods.
In the end, the halls take all memory, but the process takes a toll, as you might imagine. After many years, when the process is complete, the rising is performed, to give final peace to those who dwell there. This is your charge.
What do I have to do when the rising is complete?
The high tide is to replace the low, and stand vigil in the halls of silence until the next rising. When you have completed the rising, bring Andra's witness to me here. I will show you the last of what you need to know.
Once I have met Andra's witness, what do I do with it?
The device it operates is a simple valve mechanism. It will be clear to you when you see it.
Taking immediately seems preferable to losing all memory in the halls of silence.
It goes beyond that. It is about duty as well. The Abbey is one of Andra's most guarded secrets. Death is no guarantee our knowledge will fade safely. It is necessary that the memories of this place be washed away. We do this in Andra's service.
Return once the rising is complete.
To reach your destination, you will need to know the sign of the tide, which is kept only by the High Abbot. It's said that it is the first knowledge lost when the Abbot joins the low tide in the Halls of Silence. Watch carefully.
Okay, we know this in the
I trust
journal.
you will perform your duty, Tidebringer.
Okie dokie.
I think I see something.
Suppress affliction. Quinn's Band of Union. Grants blessing. For encounter. Instill doubts. +4 intellect. +4 intellect.
I can do that, as requested.
Singbigelt's Cudgel. If you want to read it, please pause. It's persecuting. 6 seconds and hit. What that means, I have no idea. Let's have a look around before we just commit to that one particular place. Let's get to know the map. If prayer holds in her hands a gem the size of a fist, she draws a cursed line over the end that touches the water. As the gem hits the water, it disappears from sight as it is dissolved. What happened to that gem? What gem? The gem you tossed in the pool. Remember no gem? Are you insane? You had a huge gem and you threw it into the water, now it's gone! You tossed it in, how could you have gone? Spoilers, press 100 Tidebringer. Yeah, that's it. Enough of your cuts, I don't understand. Smells placidly. All that belongs to Andra is forgotten. All things forgotten belong to Andra.
He seemed preoccupied.
I expect I would be too in his position.
What else?
Even with your labors, your presence of mind never falters. I don't know how you do it.
Perhaps your thoughts would swim deeper if your tongue didn't come out for air so often, dear brother.
I never knew.
I'll give it a try.
Did you hide in the White March after that?
As far away as I could. The Dominels didn't care I was a gift bearer. Evidence is evidence.
They've had their voice pitch shift. Pitch shifted, rather. So it sounds higher pitched. Why? I don't know.
I'd gladly shoulder the load.
The High Abbot imparted to me that I wasn't alone, that he has nightmares sometimes as well.
Truly?
Oh, it surprised me to hear it. He has such a peaceful manner.
I do like that the NPCs are really commenting on things. It's nice. Makes the expansion seem so much more alive. So I think we've pretty much explored everything. I do believe I have to now go to the lower level of the Abbey. Let's do that. Gets to fucking retire. Sorry, gang. Yeah. Oh, bollocks. Shit. Sorry, I saw something on eBay. Could have been on it. We'll keep looking.
Mind your center. You always knew this time would come.
Kaito gradually leave to walk freely. So it begins. You may continue to walk. Be warned, though tired has been in the halls of silence for a long time. Their minds are not sound. Your presence may provoke them. Yeah.
I've seen the other side, brother.
I can do that.
I'll find its
requested.
waters again, warm and soothing.
A crested key.
Make sure they receive extra. I'll not let them fall into the goddess's embrace with empty stomachs.
Their supplies are bountiful, sister. I have seen to it.
Make sure I cover them, uncover the map. Oh, a soul? Let's see what this has to say. Every skeleton half dropped tonight is a faint essence, trace of essence lingers in the cold air of the cavern. Reach out to the essence. Let your soul envelop the essence. Memories spread in a thin mist under you. Dim and torn, their scattered fragments floating like motes of dust in the twilight. You're walking into an oblong chamber. Stones of its underground walls glisten, still wet from the floodwaters. A hand clasps on your shoulder. You hear her whisper, "Arthuric, I don't want to look." The memory vanishes and now you see it's a slab of stone. You're staring at it, just inches away from the wall. Your fingers trace the circles on it, digging into the moss that clings on its weathered surface. You're not sure how long you've been touching it, perhaps you've always been. The scream jolts you. Its echoes thunder through the halls. Your ears hurt, a pain that digs deep, burrowing in your head like a twisted dagger. You run. Others run. You don't know them. You can't remember them, but somehow you take comfort in their presence. Yes, they will help you with your pain. The noise. You'll kill it. The anger over the memory subsides, and now you're sitting down on the steps scarfed on the rock. Dozens of skeletons lie below, beneath frozen water, their jaws hang open. Silence. Yet, what's that? A low rumble. Gargling, growing, deafening. You snap your head to the side in anguish, didn't see it. The water rushing down the halls, pushing you in a torrent of white foam. You fall, your mouth open to shout, but your screams are muffled as it fills with water.
Well?
What else have I picked up there? Juggernaut. 1%. Interrupt. Below 7%. Okay. Connor doesn't have a belt. Well, you do now.
Of course.
Not the best, but it's all I can do, really.
As you wish.
Poor souls. Memories taken and... I'm to bear with the burden of my own what happens next.
As you wish.
Before being drowned for a cruel god. Yeah. Yeah, lots of lots of parallels to the bitch queen of the sea. I think it's Umberlee from D&D. Door is sealed shut. You could have punched small clouds in the depths of the pits. I know I keep saving all the time, but I have to. I don't want to lose any progress. I think I'll just do this little part here, whatever it's going to be. Return to the priest, and then I'll quit, because I can't keep my eyes open today. That's all I can do. That's all I can do today is just shake my head. That's all I can do.
As you wish. Not much of a life down here, is it?
Who's there?
Okay, let's come out so we'll miss them. Yeah, of course we're gonna go that way. I don't know how close we are to leveling up again, actually. But I'm not entirely sure, like, how many levels there are. I think there's 20. If you can imagine that. I can't imagine there's that many NPCs that you can, just like slaughter and get to level 20. I'll take all your food.
I can do that.
Can I get through that?
Is that you, Edith? I thought I'd lost you. I called for you. I wanted to search, but the blizzard lasted days. I'm so sorry. But wait. We did find you. When the thaw finally came, I saw you. Rigid. Frozen. You cannot be Edith. No. We are in the Abbey. Gift bearers. And you must be the Tidebringer.
Correct, I'm the Tidebringer.
Then listen well, Tidebringer. Kauto does not know what he asks. Nor did I, when I performed the Tidebringer's duties so long ago.
Personally, I don't care if I'm undoing Andra's cult's progress, but okay. I'm a priest of Wrath. Well, I was.
The halls of silence. They take our minds, memory by memory. It would be peaceful, we were told, like going to sleep. Look around you. We, the low tide, who have been sealed down here all these many years, do we seem at peace to you? We are lost, terrified.
Your order attacked me.
Few of us know friend from foe anymore. I may be the only one left who can still speak for us. They are peaceful in their hearts. It is this place. It has confused and agitated them. Please forgive them.
I can believe that. Who are you, anyway?
No one has asked me in I don't know how long. Who was I? I was the High Abbot, wasn't it? High Abbot. Ferentis. That was me. Or the one before me, if not. No longer, though. I am just another brother of the low tide. I remember a woman. Was she my wife? She had curls in her hair, and she spoke softly. What became of her? I carry so many memories that I took from strangers who wanted to be rid of them. I don't know what's mine anymore. And there are so many holes. Every image a blur or a void.
His voice actor is really good. I like him.
This one is lost in the labyrinth of his own mind.
Would that I could be free of this place. Free to make new memories. To know who I am.
What is it that the Tidebringer's about to do?
The Tidebringer comes to replace the High Abbot. The ritual is called... It is called... The Rising. Yes, we carry so many memories. Tragic or dangerous some. We live above for a time, devoted to Andra. Then we come here to forget it all. Wash our souls clean of the memories. When it is done, a Tidebringer is summoned. Those above, the high tide, they become the low tide. It means they are brought here to the halls of silence.
I actually think the idea is pretty interesting. Yeah. Some of the stuff here, yeah, the idea of the next generation replacing the next. Problem is, it also sounds a bit more like Barath's domain of cycles.
But not before the old low tide are removed, drowned in a flood, and swept away. The rising.
You did not choose to be here.
Did we? We did. We chose it. When we thought it was our duty, and that it would be peaceful. But the more we forget, the less we understand. Every day something familiar becomes strange. If I had known, I'd never have accepted my assignment to the Abbey. Nor would many, I suspect.
That's true.
There is a relic, an aspergillum.
Spurgeon.
It was called. What was it? Well, it doesn't matter. It controls the floodwaters, but also the outer floodgates. Andra's Witness. That is the name. It is down here, but I don't recall how to reach it. The High Abbot knows. If you can find out from him, you could set us free. Open the gates. We would leave in peace and finish our lives in dignity.
You said it's wise to release the low tide in this condition.
We are all so old now. There is little damage we could do in this state.
I don't know. We had this old fella in Gilded Vale. Looked harmless, couldn't talk, but he'd bite you if you tried to steal his steak when no one was looking.
Once we are free of this place, we will be able to make memories again. The confusion and paranoia will pass.
Don't try to steal the guy's steak then, Jesus.
Use the door behind me. Safer that way.
Oh, evidently not. Let's have a healing chain. Jesus Christ, this guy's doing a lot of damage. Wound him. Okay, so Dragon Ball Shield. These are the hunts. Deals 30 raw damage for 10 seconds, and it restores health to Eddie. Not bad at all. Deal 150 damage to Pranos or 750 damage, okay.
Gonna miss you, big fella. What is it?
Oh, shit, he died.
As you wish.
Right. Oh, and I can't revive him out of combat. Because I forgot that this game's resurrection is the shot fucking broken. I just genuinely can't believe that you can't raise someone from the dead out of combat. Like the best option. Like you can restore health, not just endurance. You can restore health to people out of combat. And I've got to go through all this all over again.
They are if you can find out from him, you will.
Right, let's do this properly this time. We'll body block the door. This is also yes, a problem. Anyways, getting through.
Hey.
Right, mate. Or don't. In fact, just second elimination. That one considerably better.
Of course. What is it?
I think I'm going to save it there. I'm going to call it night. We'll continue this tomorrow. Well, I hope tomorrow. I'll see what time I've got. But yeah, I ideally want to get Pillars for turning up top. So yes. I won't apologise for the rant earlier. I think it needed to be said. I know I don't have that large an audience to spread the message, but yeah. I don't expect my message to have actually solved anything or changed anything, but yeah. But just yeah. But this industry. Yeah. Hopefully, when I come back to this game, I'll be a bit less passionate about the subject, and I can actually continue playing Pillars and actually enjoying it. We'll see, but I'm disappointed. I'm genuinely shocked that like these things keep happening. That there's still room for more people to just get shafted. I'm just glad that I didn't buy the hype when I was in college. But it's a shame that, like, that's where we're at. Yeah. Alright. I'm gonna go off. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next part. Stay for him. And hey, if I don't see you in the next part, I don't blame you. But fuck.